Means fruits and vegetables with extraordinary taste and up to 10 times the nutritional value. And if you want to double or triple the potency of herbs or wheatgrass, you can. If you want to grow nutritionalized superfoods with non-hybrids, it's now easy. GCN listeners who want to grow dirt cheap superfoods should visit the ProtoGrow website at growlikecrazy.com. That's www.growlikecrazy.com or call 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365.
Timmy Geithner is done with his testimony, and Henry Paulson is swaggering in, but he looks like a balloon that's had the air taken out of it. Looks like a man marching to the gallows. And let me tell you, that's one of the big kingpins right there, boy. He gave himself a waiver as the head of the Department of the Treasury, as Secretary of the Treasury, to give himself $200+ million in one payment out of the billions given to AIG that was then given to Goldman Sachs that he was the former head of. And his former employee, former Goldman Sachs executive, Tim Geithner at the private New York Fed, the head corporation that runs the whole system in North America and is one of the majority owners. It's all very secretive, but the word is the Federal Reserve is the majority owner. Partners with the Bank of England over the IMF and World Bank. And he is now testifying. I can't wait for everybody to pull the juicy clips out of this and aggregate it up on YouTube. We'll have it all up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com for you by this evening. We've got Kurt Nimmo, Paul Watson, Steve Watson, and others. Aaron Dykes is on assignment in California, interviewing Dr. Stan Monteith for the upcoming film we're working on. And then he's going to Tennessee to interview someone else. So just leave it at that. But very, very exciting what's going on. Here's Bloomberg. Fed email to Geithner cites bank benefit from AIG. Timothy F. Geithner has denied that the financial condition of American International Group, Inc.'s bank counterparties was a consideration in structuring the insurer bailout. Was told by a senior colleague that the rescue was a way to remove uncertainty from the firms. So he said he knew nothing about that. As if the head of the New York Fed didn't know that New York Fed lawyers, because they're the real boss, told AIG not to disclose who was getting the money. Then Geithner and Paulson and all the rest of them, this whole gaggle of thieves, Summers, Rubin, all of them have been on television. They've testified saying, we won't let you know where the money is. Private Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke, over and over again. How many clips do I have in Obama Deception and Fall of the Republic with him live on television saying, under oath, we will not tell you where the bailout money went. So that's their public policy, is to criminally say we won't tell you where the money went. But then it is public knowledge, because of tax returns, that he gave himself, Henry Paulson testifying live now on Capitol Hill, that he gave himself a waiver for over $200 million. And he's just a mid-level capo. That's what a mid-level capo gets for running the heist for the owners of the system. We always hear about CEOs. We always hear about bag men. We always hear about Geithner and Summers and Rubin making their hundreds of millions. One of the big banks involved in the scam, their CEO, I saw the number, got over $2 billion in 1 year. But that's nothing. You never hear about the shareholders. The big diversion is capping CEOs' pay and things like that. And, oh, look at the bonuses. That's all a red herring. It's the trillions. 28 plus trillion and growing in the last, what is it? October 2008. October, November, December. And then 12 months. That's 15 months. January's almost over. So in the last 16 months, a few days shy of 16 months, October 3rd, when they got the power to steal whatever they wanted, at least on paper, fraudulently. These guys aren't God. They can't do things that are criminal, even if they're running the system and say they can. Under common law, under the Constitution, they're just like everybody else. The law applies to them. They're not above the law, but they said it didn't apply because they gave themselves waivers. So in 15 months and 3 weeks, they have stolen over $28 trillion that we know of. And what? 20 billion or so were bonuses to the little bag men, the technicians, the figureheads, the front men, the big 5 bank heads and all their vice presidents and minions, the big 4 brokerage firms and all their minions, their secretaries. I saw reports where secretaries at Goldman Sachs were getting $1 million, $2 million, $3 million bonuses. Everybody gets a bonus. Of your money. Of your tax money. So let's stop talking about the secretary that got $1,400,000. You know, the lowest bonuses I saw were over $1 million. Let's stop talking about the people that gave themselves $200 million, like Paulson. Why aren't we talking about the actual shareholders? Why aren't we talking about the trillions that they won't even say where it went? Most of it to offshore banks. That's the big issue here, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing. Email to former New York Fed President Timothy Geithner reveals discussion of AIG bailout. Something Geithner said he had nothing to do with. And this is only the tip of the iceberg with these emails that Congress is trying to get. They've declared national security in 2008. They engaged in financial terrorism. To me, that's the biggest crime here. To come out and tell Congress, Henry Paulson, the man on television right now, live, we got Senator Inhofe, we got multiple congressmen here on air to tell you that they were threatened with total martial law if they didn't give the banks this power. And then the banks went out on television. Congress still said no in late September. And so in the final days of September, the first 2 days of October, Paulson and Geithner and Bernanke and Summers and Rubin and Obama and McCain, the whole crew pulled together. Team Tyrant against the American people, the people of the world. They all pulled together and came out all over television in a unified 5-day blitz and said they didn't vote for the bailout. And if you don't bail us out, there's going to be a depression. And the stock market fell by several thousand points. And I took my kids out to soccer practice that weekend leading into October 3rd, later in the week. And I watched every one of those yuppies with newspapers and their BlackBerries and their iPhones looking down at them and almost crying watching their 401ks go down on average by over 40%. That was financial terrorism. I didn't have a BlackBerry out looking at stocks because I don't own any stocks. I don't have a 401k. I don't involve myself in all of that gambling, swindling system. Yeah, it made a lot of you out there a lot of money, but at the expense of our country's future and your children's future. It was a casino. And like a rigged casino, they know you were a high-rolling yuppie. You thought you were making $400,000 a year in the last decade. And when you came in, they let you win the first few times at that rigged roulette table with magnets in it and steel in the middle of that little white ball. And they could just hit a button and let you win, setting you up. Cutting the profits off the top for themselves, buying up the media, buying up the defense industry.